It's an absolute pleasure to present today's speaker, Shirley Ramos Martinez. She is a front-end developer and UI designer, co-founder of Angular Peru, Google Developer Group organizer, mentor, and volunteer in tech communities. She has more than 6 years of experience in front-end development, and she is a remote worker who enjoys working and traveling. She loves video games, painting, and swimming. Shirley, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Good luck. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, girls. Okay, I will share my screen. Okay. Mm. Mm. Okay. Here. Yeah. Okay. Well, hello everyone. Today, we will talk about adaptive interfaces, designing real accessibility with AI. As Violina says, I am Shirley Ramos Martinez. And well, more about me is that I am front developer and UX UI designer. Well, also I am social communicator. This was my first career at the university, and then I found tech and I loved the way, so I'm here. I am organizer at Google Developer Groups, and also I am organizing JavaScript Peru here in my country. And well, I am accessibility enthusiast and I really love Minecraft. I am a Minecraft lover all the time, I think. And well, let's start. Well, I want to start with this question. When was the last time you designed thinking about someone with a visual impairment? Just take a moment with it. When was the last time you designed or coded something thinking about someone with low vision, with motor limitations, with cognitive difficulties? If the answer is not or not recently, that's exactly why we are here today. So, well, 96% of websites have basic accessibility failures. That's not a small number. That's almost every website on the internet, and most of us have shipped at last one of those failures. A button with no label, an image with no alt text, a font that breaks with keyboard navigation, for example. It happens. So, what is accessibility? When we talk about accessibility, we're talking about three main areas: visual, motor, and cognitive. Visual, people with low vision, blindness, or color blindness. Motor, people who don't use a mouse, who navigate by keyboard or voice. And cognitive, people who have difficulty reading, processing, or remembering information. So accessibility affects 1 in 4 people. This is not an age case. This is a significant part of your users. So accessibility starts before the code. I think this is really important and we have to take in account because sometimes we think accessibility is part of the process and while we are creating, developing, or building our projects, but it starts before the code. So I wanted to show these design patterns for accessibility. That's why I said it starts before the code. We have to take in account the contrast ratio because text must be readable. We have to take in account alt text we propose, not what, but why. We have to take in account the heading hierarchy, H1, H2, H3 in order, never skip that. Number 4, touch targets, minimum 44 pixels. because fingers are in cursors and it's really uncomfortable when you are navigating or you have to touch something, for example, a button, and it's really small. Or if you can, well, I will say this example, you are using your phone, but you maybe had an accident and you only have one hand available and you have to navigate or do some payment or something. It's really uncomfortable. That's one of the reasons these things matter. Number 5, visual focus states, never outline no. Because sometimes we used to, or for example, me in the past, for me, it was really annoying the outline. For me, it was like, no, I don't like it. I try to avoid this or deactivate it or delete the styles. But it helps when you're navigating with keyboards. So in this time, I had to understood that, and yeah, it didn't bother me right now. But yeah, I have to. If I want to have a better styles in my website or my project, I try to give another styles because the follow styles of the web or the of the website, I don't like it. But never, please, never hide it using outline on. Number 6, form labels. Always have to be visible because placeholders don't count. We have to use form labels. And well, this is a example about a hierarchy. Sorry, this is in Spanish because my last talk was in Spanish, but mal is wrong in Spanish, y bien is good. So we have to take in account the orders about the headings. In the first example is H1, then H3, but this is bad because it's in the order. The website starts with H1, then H2, and we have to take in account that this will be important for SEO, for performance, and also for the hierarchy. And there is a phrase that this in Spanish, headings are the structure of your website, not only are visual styles. And well, these are some examples. Also, these are in Spanish too. Well, I wanted to show you this because we have to take in account to people who uses the screen readers and kind see what is the image about or the link, and they have to imagine. So sometimes we don't have the idea because we can see an image, we can see a broke image, and we said, okay, it broke. But if the page that we are seeing or visiting is about food or about pets or about clothes, we said, oh, okay, but it's about a t-shirt. I don't mind. It's only a broke image. But no, this matters because there are people that can see or that have a low vision and that are like, what is saying here or what is that? What is that imagine? So in the first example, it says there is an image that has the source. It is about a dog, es perro en español, in Spanish. Dog that, bueno, and the alt description would be, for example, imagine or image. That would be bad because it's not only an image. You can say, this is a picture of a dog. That would be a better description. For other people that well, for people that can see, and in this case will be hearing because of the screen readers, so they have to imagine. And well, a better example would be like in the third line, well, in the third example, that will be the dog. In this case, the dog calls Luna, in English moon. So for example, moon, and it has 2 years old. That would be a better description if you are in a web page or not only page about a pet shop or a website of pet adoption, for example. I will be showing you this in the demo. That's why I have these examples with pets. So about the area level, there will be a better description about what we are using. For example, we have we are we always use or sometimes buttons, but we don't give the context. In this case, the area level. We only use an arrow. If you see the button with an arrow, you see, and you think, yeah, okay, this is next. This means next something, next food, next, I don't know, next drink, next bed, or whatever. But for people who couldn't see this, this will be a bad practice. So the correct form will be to have a better description of this, and also not only use an icon. If not, use words, no? Like next article, next image for something, for example. Well, how we do it today? About accessibility. The Web Content Accessibility Guidelines has 78 criteria. Most teams treat it like compliance document, not a design principle. But it's bad because I think today we think, or the most of the people think, well, not me, but accessibility is like a checklist at the end of our projects. Is someone else's problems, and in the most of the cases, we'll fix it later. That then this will be a tech debt, because if we don't take in account since the beginning of our projects, they will be a really mess, because you have to do maybe you are finalizing the project or you are in the last sprints, and then you have to check accessibility, because maybe at the beginning of the project you take in account, or maybe you said about it, but well, in your team, your boss or the client didn't take in account this because now it's not relevant. But at the end, when you're finalizing all the project, and then comes feedback, and they said, well, yeah, accessibility, yeah, it matters because we have some users that are saying that our web aren't accessibility for them, and yeah, then it has the importance that didn't have at the beginning. So if you take in account since you are starting, even since you are designing, it would be better, because you don't have a lot of times at the end, at least not a lot. Well, these are some useful tools that we have on the internet, and we could use to see, to realize, to think about how we can improve the accessibility in our projects. For example, DevTools is a Chrome extension that are they're automatically and for free of this accessibility. So it's really helpful. Number two, Lighthouse. Well, we found this in the Chrome DevTools, and in the accessibility tab gives you a score. When you are analyzing the performance of your website, it gives you the errors. It says in which elements you can improve and which are failing. So this is really helpful. Number three, Wave. Analyze any link and visually displays errors. And number four, Colorblind, extension that simulates how someone with color blindness sees your website. So this would be a really good practice for us if we take in account. And also there are more extension and more tools on the internet. There are a lot, but it would be better if we take in account and also we start practicing with this. Well, so in this case about accessibility and AI, what if the interface could detect these own problems? Would be awesome if you can start your project and also you can start doing your your own like your own exam to see what errors are you doing or what thing about accessibility are missing while you are developing your app or your web app. So in this case, I will show you one project that I did. In this case, it's a widget. It only has HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We are using, well, in this case, I am using the Grok API key. This will be our AI in the project. And I'm using Vercel for the deploy and also to have the backend side. So I will show you. Let's go to the demo to see. And I will stop. Okay, I will share my other screen. Okay. Okay, can you see it, right? Yeah, in this case, well, this is a widget that I am doing. This is like, well, just a demo because I have another version that I am improving with. I received some feedback about some users and people in the last talk that I gave. And well, in this case, I know there are a lot of tools on the internet and also there are some widgets, but they are not complete, or also they are really basic and have a lot of errors. I I do some research about it, but I really want to do something that the future can help or improve this experience. Maybe in the future have like a better version of this, like a better project. So for me, this is a widget about accessibility. In this case, I put here all in the HTML file because I really want to have a simple structure to show you. This is the HTML about the page or my example page that I have. This is a pet shop. And then, well, I have the widget here, the JS file about the widget, the JavaScript part, and I will show you about, okay, in this part, I have the prompt that I give to the artificial intelligence this will analyze and then will give me the results about the errors that I have in this case in my project. So in here I give the prompt like you're an expert in web accessibility. Analyze this information. I respond in English in this case because well, I have another version and I am trying to improve this at the future to have more translation, but in this case will be only in English. And also because of the content, I am giving visible text, images without alt text, buttons without labels, heading hierarchy, and all of that. And also another issues that this will find. And only the real issues, max 6 issues and minimum 1. If not issues are found, so no critical issues detected, and all of that. Okay, in this part, only a short issue title and the fix. What will be the way that I can fix this? Also, you can add, for example, tell me the correct answer or the type of answers that I could use to replace this error. But this will show you a lot of examples, like how to fix or how to respond. And that's why I only limited to fix. And then I will think about what will be the better. And yeah, well, in this case, I am using Grok. and I have it here. This is my API key about that I'm using Grok in this case. Well, this is the widget I show you. This is the analyze part where I am calling the API key. In here, and here is, yeah, this is a Grok web where I found the API key. This is the second time that I'm using this. I was running two projects at the same time, and it's for free. That's why I really like it. In case you can use also Gemini, also Cloud, for example. But in this case, I really like it to use this, and I didn't have any errors. And you have to, you really could use this a lot of times, and, and this won't be a problem about the free tire. So I will show you the demo. What is here? Okay. Yeah, this is the demo. And also, this was a Frontend challenge from a long time ago. I did here with Mariya and Violina. I remember, but and I searched like an example for the talk I gave, and I wanted this because I also the front-end challenge was perfect, but in this case, no. There are a lot of errors. So you will see with the widget why we have errors and how we can fix. But yeah, this is about a pet shop, or in this case like a website to adopt pets. In this case, this is also Garras. Is my cat. It's really look alike to my cat. And yeah, this will be the widget. So in here, I put it here like floating, like a button. So in this case, you can reduce the text and you can increase the text. This is because there are people that, like me, that have to use glasses. Because when I am without glasses, I am like this, like I cannot see. So I have to use this. And for me, for other people that have these problems, I think it's perfect. Also, you can use the high contrast. So it's like a light and dark mode also, but yeah, this is better for reading. And it also has a reading mode that all will be black. Maybe there are some people that don't like, or for them are all the colors or a lot of colors are bothering. So a reading mode. And yeah, as it says, it's beta, like this is in the this is in the first phase, so I am proving and I am doing a lot of tests about it. And if we analyze here, it says AI is reviewing your page. So it loads. Okay, it says what is wrong here, and well, we have the list. For example, no alt text for images. Add alt attribute to image. Tags, for example, image description. In this case, I think all of these images don't have alt text. That's why this is saying that we have to add the image description, buttons without labels, add text to button. For example, search pets now. In this case, this arrow is empty and also don't have any description. This button also is empty too. So it also has an error. And also says lack of heading hierarchy. Organize page structure using semantic headings. For example, visible text and pets finder, home, etc. In this case, if we inspect, I think we have a lot of errors. Page 1. This is spam. Okay, use Angular, but H3, 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 and then H2. Yeah, this is a big mistake. That's why it says we have to use heading hierarchy. And yeah. And also, if you see, there are a lot of mistakes that you can also find um, if you're seeing, in this case, here in this arrow, there says over 1 million pets saved. This like arrow has a background color that is really, I don't know, I think it lost with the background. So in this case, we have to take in account the color contrast if they are passing the web content accessibility guidance. And then about maybe this text, rescue dog say, for example, this subtitle also it has a color that cannot you can see it easily. So this is a bad practice for accessibility too. And the image looks incomplete because you cannot see perfectly the dog, and the other image are related to this website about Pets Finder. And also the name of the dog is good because it's H4. In this case, this title is H2. This should be H3. This is H4, but the text isn't readable. It's really, really small. But it's a Shih Tzu, 2 years old, and Lima. Lima is a city. You can find it in Lima. But the text is really, really small. So this isn't readable. So you could increase here to see. Yeah, but the color is bad. That's why the high contrast will help us. And yeah, well, this will be well and also we have here more more errors. These links are empty. These are but practice too. And yeah, I think this will be all that we can see for now. Okay. I don't know if you have responses. No. This was only for a test. As I said, this website was a challenge, a past challenge that I did. But I really want to use it to an example to use the alt text, the area label, or the empty links to see what is missing. And well, this would be part of the demo. And while in here, I use Vercel. I really love Vercel. It's really easy to deploy. And then I will share with you the link that is here. But I was testing with the local host, and also to show you more in here with Versal Dev, using this command, you have like the backend sign, and you can have your local host that also is here. You can open here and you can see. But I really want to always open outside the Visual Code, but yeah. And that's why I use it Vercel. It's really cool to use this and to run our project. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Well, this would be the demo, and we'll be back to the presentation to say something. I don't know if until here, do you have any questions, or would be at the end?
Amazing session, actually, and it was really cool to see how you built the widget and actually how useful it is. We do have a few questions. So Sophia is asking, how did you create the widget?
Oh, well, yeah, I was looking on the internet about some ideas to do something with accessibility. So I was talking with AI, well, I use Cloud and yeah, I was like asking, how can I improve accessibility on my projects, for example, because yeah, you can find it on the internet. there are some pages that have these like widgets, but I was testing and that widgets don't give you, for example, what you are missing about accessibility in your webs. It only can increase text, change high contrast, a lot of function, but also they aren't good. They aren't in a good state, I think. So I was thinking, yeah, I can do it better because I was searching on the internet and I didn't find something related to this. And I think, if in these days we're using AI for everything, AI can help me to build something that will be better. That I know it exists in the internet, but it will be like in with my style and also with my ideas. I have a lot of ideas to improve this widget, and also do it better. To this maybe could be accessible for everyone in the internet. But yeah, I really wanted to have more, no? For people that are starting and also that are building their projects. And as I said before, it's cool when you have the result, or in this case the answer to what are you doing, what you are doing wrong. So if I have a lot of failures in the website while you are working, why not using this at the beginning and see what you are doing bad, and fix this, and then continue with your project. So this will be helpful to the tech debt. And because I have a lot of experience since I started being a developer, that I remember when I was junior, I didn't know what was accessibility. But one day, my boss says, yeah, we have to start doing uh, some accessibility tests, and we have to take in account the web content guidance, the accessibility guidance and guidelines. And I said, what? What is that? I started investigating and that. And also in that time, I remember there were a lot of HTML tags that even didn't exist nowadays. Yeah, we have a lot of new HTML elements. And for example, in that time was picture tag. And yeah, I didn't know why this exists, a lot of things. And since that time, I realizing accessibility matters because of there are a lot of people that, yeah, maybe I can use glasses, but there are people that cannot use glasses, that cannot see or have low vision, that also that cannot see and only has to use screen readers. And also there are people that can talk and can hear, and they have to use screen readers and have to use subtitles or videos, and a lot of that, no? And that's why I from this time to since that time for now, I realized that maybe I could find a way. And yeah, I think that my motivation was that I don't find more information on the internet. Like there are not a lot of articles, there are not a lot of projects. And if you find someone that you like in there is not a lot of information, you can add your own. You can add it by your own, and you can add where you are studying, searching, and also improves what is on the internet. Sorry that the response was really long, but I wanted to explain that.
That was amazing answer, and thank you for explaining it in detail. One question from me: do you plan to open source it? Because I think this might be useful for a lot of people.
Yeah, see, yeah, I wanted to. Oh, where's my? Okay. Yeah, I wanted to do it open source because I know there are people that have more ideas. Also, in the last time that I was giving this talk for the first time, and one person in the of the blog of the people that were there asked me about, did you consider to add in maybe a part or a tab in the widget that could help us with um, with the language? And yeah, in that time I didn't realize it for completely, but yeah, it would be helpful if this that like as now I can reduce and increase the text, and also I could, or if I if I could translate to any language, because maybe right now I can talk in English, but if then I want to use it, I want to use it for Spanish people, and yeah, that will be helpful. And like this example, there are a lot of people that have more brilliant ideas. So yeah, but for now, I am building like I have like my project, like the project that I'm giving more time for this. I have in private. But yeah, this demo, the demo that I'm using today, yeah, this is open, so everyone can go to check. And also, I will give you the link to check. I will I will put it in the chat, so you can go and see how I did it. This is the demo, the GitHub repo. This is in the chat. Okay, and well, to finalize the presentation, I wanted to add AI is not here to replace your judgment. It's here to catch what you miss, like this widget. AI can help us to see, to realize, to think what we are missing and what we can improve, and also give us the idea and the response. But yeah, also it could help you to catch where you are missing, why you aren't taking about this. And I think this is the idea. Not that AI will be always giving you the correct answer, but also can explain to you why this is happening. And well, real accessibility isn't explained, it's built. I want to finish with this phrase because I think everyone and a lot of people can say, yeah, accessibility is always thinking about people that has difficulties like visual, motor, cognitive. But yeah, you can say you can talk a lot, but it will be better if you do something. If you use your tools, if you use AI, if you go create a repo, start coding, and if you are a designer with developer, if you can do something better that is on the internet, will be better because everyone could share it, and also use the open source, contribute, and yeah, this would be helpful for everyone. And yeah, thank you. That's what I wanted to share with you. And this is, if you want to connect or see where I am doing, I will be doing more about it. And also I am starting writing some articles, so you can follow me if you want and connect on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and all my social networks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shirley. That was amazing session. We also have one question from Sophia. Can you use it for other projects as well? Can you use the widget for other projects?
Yeah, well, for sure. Right now, it only has JavaScript. I didn't use frameworks because I wanted to everyone could be capable to use to add it to any other project. So if you go to see the code, yeah, you can reuse it to any language you are using right now. So yeah.
Surely, that's awesome. I do have a question myself. So your boss told you that you need to do more accessibility work oriented with this widget. Can you use it for your work, or Did you guys build your own widget? How do you keep up with accessibility work-wise?
Sorry, I didn't hear you well. What was the question?
Yeah, do you build your own widget for work for accessibility testing? How do you testing at work the accessibility when you're building a site or work?
Well, for now, I am using in my personal projects. And yeah, I also, well, I think that everyone use AI, but I always take in account that when I am starting giving the prompt, for example, for something that I really want to build, I always said like taking account accessibility guidelines, for example, and then I compare to what I know that it's correct, like, but I think that it's correct. And but yeah, sometimes I have to do something really well. I have to do it like fast, and sometimes I didn't realize if I am missing something. That's why in this case I really want to use it and improve it to help me to avoid the tech debt, because it happens. No, all the time we have to do things for yesterday, and we are like rushing every day. So yeah, I think this is for my personal projects, but yeah, this will be better if in the future it has a better version.
Thank you, Shirley. Well, we don't have more questions in the chat. The session was very impressive, and we are very thankful that you spend the time to walk us through how important is the accessibility, and that we can also create something on our own and help the world to be more, have awareness. Thank you everyone for joining us today.